I'm Dr. Kristen R. Bromley. This video series, which is part of my online music academy, specifically accompanies note reading books 1 and 2 from my Method book series. Like all my books, this selection is available to purchase through Amazon and Google Play. For help, see the links in the description below. In the videos which are part of this specific course, I progress through the lessons in note reading books 1 and 2, explaining and demonstrating concepts and playing each of the songs and exercises contained therein, so you can hear how they sound and play them right along with me. You are of course welcome to view these videos with or without the book, but with the book you can work through all the songs and exercises, and in the process learn all the notes in first position and master the skill of reading written music notation. Alright, let's get to jamming in this lesson. Hi there, welcome back. Here we are in lesson 9. In this lesson we're going to talk mainly about dotted quarter notes. So in the last lesson we learned about eighth notes. Those are the subdivision of a quarter note. They cut it in half. And with that came the ability to play notes in between the beats. So quarter notes fall on the beat, half notes fall on the beat, whole notes fall on the beat, until we introduce a subdivision of the beat. And the quarter note is usually the beat. So introducing that subdivision of it, that eighth note, gave us the ability to play on the offbeat. We're going to do some more of that today as we work with dotted quarter notes. So up here on the board, we're going to talk about the dots. Now, in this lesson, we're going to be on pages 51 through 58, starting on page 51. So, as we've learned previously, when we add a dot to a note, it adds the addition of half the length of that note. So, half the length of a whole note is a half note. A whole note plus a half note equals 6 counts. And you can see that mathematical equation of whole note plus a half note equals 6 counts written out there on page 51. When we put a dot next to a half note, it takes half the value of the half note, so a quarter note, and adds that to the length of the note. So 3 counts. Half note plus a quarter note equals 3 counts. So, with that same idea in mind, when we add a dot to a quarter note, we take half its value, which is the value of an eighth note, we add it to the length, and we get 1.5 beats. So this is a little trickier maybe to play than the whole note and the half note. We've seen lots of the half notes. We haven't had a measure that's actually long enough to have 6 counts. The only time we've seen this value is when we've seen a whole note tied to a half note in the next bar, or a half note tied to a whole note in the next bar. So we've run into that before, but we've never actually seen the whole note with the dot next to it. So this one is going to add some new tricky type stuff to our rhythms by adding that half of a count onto the quarter note. Just to point out, because we're going to get there, the dotted quarter rest is going to also equal 1.5 counts. Now in this lesson we're also going to see the eighth rest, which is worth half a count. So 0.5. That eighth rest looks kind of like a Y with a little dot on it, kind of. So we'll see some of those. I'll point it out when we get there. Okay, so with the knowledge of how long a dotted quarter note lasts, let's look at some common rhythms and how we might count those rhythms when they have dotted quarter notes. So right there, we have two little examples, two measure examples. They're showing us the value of a quarter note and how we might count it when it's tied to an eighth note. That's the equivalent of a dotted quarter. There's like 2 ways that we generally see this. We might see a dotted quarter note or a quarter note tied to an eighth note, because they're worth the same thing, followed by an eighth note. Or we're going to see it in reverse. We're going to see the eighth note first, followed by the dotted quarter note, or it could also be written as an eighth note tied to a quarter note. So, right there, I'm just going to show these examples. I'm going to play these examples. We have the quarter note tied to the eighth note, so 1, 2, and 3, 4. That's the same rhythm as the next measure, which has the dotted quarter note. Same thing. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Now with our plucking, we're going to continue to pluck up on those eighth notes that are on the offbeat, or any note that falls on the offbeat. with the introduction of eighth notes, we actually can get quarter notes that follow on the offbeat or dotted quarters. So that one is the do, 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 do. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Just with the open B note, play that rhythm with me a few times. Down, up, down, down. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. So that's kind of a common one, and when we see it, we can just get used to what it feels like to play that. We can also count it with some subdivisions. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And it might help you to feel that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and as an underlying thing to that rhythm. Okay, so the other one is 1 and 2, 3, 4. So the eighth note followed by the dotted quarter or the eighth note tied to the quarter, same value. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Same thing as eighth note to that dotted quarter. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Do down, do, do, do down, do, do. Play that with me a couple times. So you got 1, 2, ready, and we got 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 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 Okay, exercises 1 and 2 are counting and clapping. So this ought to help us as we get ready to play the exercises and songs on the pages that follow. So we're going to try clapping it now and counting. We can just read the counts as they're written. It helps to say where those beats are. So the 2 is in parentheses because we're technically not playing something on 2, but it's still happening, and finding it can help us find where that next note comes in on the and. So that's why it's in parentheses. That's in measures 1 and 2. Later on we'll see the same sort of thing in measure 3 of number 1. It's going to be the number 4 in parentheses because we're not playing on beat 4, but saying beat 4 may help us find the and that comes right after. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, and we have 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do number 2. I assume it was great. 1, 2, ready, and we have 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's not written to do this with, but let's go ahead and play it with the open B note. And we're going to pluck upwards on those ands. That's how we'd count it. But the notes that aren't on the beat we're going to pluck up. The rest of the notes we pluck down. Our hand will go down, up, down, up, down, up to play the notes that are on the beat. So it'll sort of help us, kind of like a metronome, keep track of that beat. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, and we have 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 2. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alrighty, let's flip on over to page 52 now. Alrighty, so here we are on page 52. We're going to do numbers 3 and 4. These exercises are designed to practice that plucking direction. We just did that a little bit. I threw it in as an extra thing. We'll go ahead and do it here again. You can actually see the picking direction written, and I'm going to say the picking direction. So here we go. Number 3. We got 1, 2, ready, and down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Alright, I assume it was great. If not, it's totally fine. I've been doing this a long time, so I've done this sort of thing a lot, so I've gotten better at it, and you can just repeat these exercises as much as you need to. Number 4, though. Here you go. 1, 2, ready, and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Okay, we're going to move on and see some of these rhythms in this song. So we're going to start with number 5, the Camptown Races. This one starts on a G note, comes in on beat 4. So I'll give us 1, 2, 3, and we'll be in. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. G, 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 E, G, A, G, E, E, D, 3, 4, E, D, 3, G, 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 E, G, A, G, E, D, D, E, D, C, 2, 3, G, 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 E, G, G, A, G, E, E, D, 3, 4, E, D, 3, G, 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 E, G, G, A, G, G, E, D, 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 E, D, C, 2, 3, 4, C, C, E, G, C, 2, 3, rest. A, C, A, G, 2, 3, G, 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 E, G, G, A, G, E, D, E, F, E, B, C, 2, 3, rest. All right, so let's go on to page 53. We'll do number 6, Oh Susanna. Now, Oh Susanna is written in something we call cut time. If you look down at the bottom of page 53, you'll see examples of common time versus cut time. Common time is 4/4 time. 4/4 time is our most common time signature, so it can also be known as common time. That's another name for it. And a C in the time signature can tell us that it's 4/4 time or common time. We see that from time to time. We've seen that in the past and I've explained it. So cut time is where both numbers are cut in half. So instead of 4/4 we have 2/2. Now when we're reading it, it looks the exact same as 4/4. Because the half note is worth 1 count and there's 2 half notes per bar, which means that we're going to have 4 quarter notes. Most of the time when you look at the music, it could just be in 4/4. The reason things will be written in cut time is that it just feels lighter in 2. So if you imagine somebody conducting, da 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 da, they gotta go like this, and that's just kind of counterintuitive, counterproductive. But a conductor could connect it in 2. That makes sense. And so that's why things are sometimes written in cut time, but for our purposes in reading melodies, reading the rhythms, it all looks the same, and we can actually count it as if it were in 4/4 time if we need to. So the other way of indicating cut time rather than writing 2/2 is to put a C for common time with a vertical line through it. So it becomes cut time because it's got that line through it, cut in half. So this one's in cut time. We're going to count it and treat it just as if it were in 4/4, but it could be in 2/2. And really, we won't be playing it fast enough to be in 2/2, but if we were playing it a lot faster, then it would feel more in 2/2, and I'd think of it in 2. We could kind of feel it in 2, but counting wise, and as we're learning to play these melodies, we can treat cut time the same way we treat 4/4 time. Alrighty here. So we're going to be coming in on beat 4 as if it were in common time. And I'll give us 1, 2, 3, and we'll be in. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Down, up, down, down, down. Up, down, down, down. Up, down, 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 down. 2, 3. Down, up, down, down, down. Up, down, down, down. Up, down, 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 down. 2, 3. Down, up, down, down, down. Up, down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. 2, 3. Down, up. up, down, 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 2, 3, 4, down, 2, down, 4, down, down, 3, down, down, up, down, 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 2, 3, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 2, 3, rest. Okay, let's flip on over to page 54. We'll do number 7. Okay, so here we are on page 54 with number 7, Drunken Sailor. This one starts on an A pitch, and we'll just go ahead and do it. So we got 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's go to number 8, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. It starts on the open B note. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, rest. Alrighty, so on to page 55. This is where we're going to start working with some 8th rests. So I have our 8th rest written here on the board. You see sort of the published music version there. It's a little fancier than the one I have drawn. But we're going to first practice with some clapping examples to work on counting these rhythms. Now I'm going to say rest in place of the number or the and that rest is written on. So you can count and clap these with me. We'll just go with number 9. We got 1, 2, ready, and we have 1, 2, rest, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and rest, and 1, rest, and 3, rest, and 1, rest, and rest, and rest, and. Little tricky, right? Number 10. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, rest, and rest, and rest, and 2, 3, 4, 1, and rest, and 3, rest, 4, and 1, 2, rest, and 4. Okay, you can practice those as much as you need to at whatever tempo, or even just work on one measure at a time if you need to. We're going to look at playing these rhythms with the rest. Now the goal is to mute the string where the rest happens. An 8th rest can be kind of tricky with that because it goes a little bit fast. So like in number 11, we're going to want to go rest, up, rest, up, rest, up, rest, up. So we want to mute the string with the left hand or the right hand. I'm going to mostly use the left hand, but I'll use the right hand as well. So it'd be like rest, up, rest, up, rest, up, up, down. So you got 1, 2, ready, and rest up, rest up, rest up, down, 2, down, 4, rest up, down, down, up, rest up, down, up, rest up, down, up. Kind of fun. You can work on that one as many times as you need to. Let's do number 12 though. You got 1, 2, ready, and down, down, rest up, down, rest up, down, down, up, rest up, down, up, rest up, down, rest up, down, rest up, down. And we're off. And those exercises in some ways are probably trickier than the melodies that we're going to play. But let's go ahead and do number 13, Drill Ye Terriers Drill. So it's going to start on an open A, the low open A. Here we go. 1, 2, and ready, and go. And 1, and rest. And 3, and 4. 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, rest, and 4, and rest, and 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, rest, and 4, and 1, rest, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, rest, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's flip on over to page 56 now. We'll do number 14. So here we are on page 56 with number 14, My Little Pony. On this page, we're going to start working with the dotted quarter rest. So the same length as a dotted quarter note. It's worth 1.5 counts. Looks just like our quarter rest with a dot next to it. Now rests don't use ties like notes do, but we can also see from time to time a quarter rest followed by an eighth rest or vice versa. Sometimes with the way that it's written in the measure, our eye might catch what the rhythm is intended to be with that configuration a little bit better, but usually we'll actually see the dotted quarter rest. And that's what we're going to see right here with number 14. And we see it right in the first measure. Now as I count us through this one, I'm going to try and help us out with some subdivisions. So for example, in that first measure with that dotted quarter note, dotted quarter rest, that first note comes in on the and of 2. So I might say rest and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it's kind of how that would go. I'll do some of that throughout as we play this one to try and help us with the rhythm. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and go, and rest and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and rest and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, rest and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and off. Okay, let's play it again, and I won't say anything. We can try and feel the value of the dotted quarter rest. 1 and 2 and ready and go and rest. Rest and 2. Rest and 2. Rest. 2, 3, 4. Rest and 2. Rest and 2. 2, 3, 4. So that may have been a little fast for you to keep up with. It's a little bit of a challenge piece. It's written in time. It's supposed to go faster. It's a little more fun if it does. Let's go on to number 15 now. Too Many Miles. This one comes in on 3 and 4. So I'm going to give us 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2. And we'll be in. So here you go. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and. 2, 3, 4, rest, 2. 3, 4. Okay, let's go on to page 57. Now on page 57 we're looking at something we call syncopation. So when we play a figure that pushes an emphasis to the offbeat instead of right on the beat, it pushes against sort of the meter or the flow of the song. When that happens we call that syncopation. So you got a great example there, just one measure of it. It's written 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the only thing on the beat is the very first note. Everything else is on the offbeat. 1 and 2 and and that creates a syncopation. So we're going to have moments of syncopation in songs. This is a great characteristic of it. So exercises 16 and 17 are clapping exercises. We kind of get used to the syncopation, so we'll go ahead and do those. Number 16, you got 1, 2 and 3 and go, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, rest and 2 and 3 and 4. So I don't know if you're kind of feeling it, but it's there. Let's do number 17. You got 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4 and. Now we're going to do some plucking practice with it. So number 18, we got 1, 2, ready, and down, up, 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 down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up. Okay, and number 19, 1, 2, ready, and down, up, down, up, down, up, 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 down. Okay, let's play some songs with this in now. So we'll do number 20, Go Tell It on the Mountains. We'll just start right on it. 1, 2, ready, and... 3, 4, off. So I don't know if you felt that, but at the end of that second line, do da 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 dum, do da do da dum. A little bit of a syncopated figure. All right, let's flip on over to page 58 now. Alrighty, so here we are on page 58 with number 21, Tom Dooley. Starts right off with a syncopated figure, that 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2. So let's just go right on it. 1, 2, 3, and go, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 to rest. 4. Rest 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll do the last one in this lesson, Shorten and Bread, number 22. This one also starts out with that syncopated figure, do-da, do-da-da. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Second measure, down, up, down. So you got 1 and 2 and ready and go, and down, up, down, up, rest. 1 and 2 and 3, rest. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 rest. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, rest. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, rest. 1 and 2 and 3, rest. Okay, so you might have noticed in that one there are places where we have that dotted quarter note length, but it's an eighth note tied to a quarter note. So right in that first measure of the second line, for example, you might say, well, why didn't you write a dotted quarter note? Well, this is something that helps us rhythmically when we can see where beat 3 is. And so if we'd have written a dotted quarter note there, we wouldn't have been able to see where beat 3 was with our eyes, and it could have thrown us off on what the rhythm was. So places where we can't see beat 1 or beat 3, we don't use a dotted quarter note. Beat 1 it wouldn't work because it's across the bar line. So in places where we have the length of a dotted quarter note that goes across the bar line, we're going to see the two, a quarter note and an eighth note tied together, or an eighth note and a quarter note tied together, depending on how it's falling rhythmically. And then we're going to see the in the middle of the bar with beat 3, we're going to see that same sort of thing. We're going to see the quarter note tied to an eighth note, or vice versa, an eighth note tied to a quarter note, depending on how it's being used rhythmically. And we have that a lot here, the eighth note tied to the quarter note on that and of 2 tied to beat 3. Alrighty, so that wraps us up for this lesson. I hope you're having fun. It's really nice when we have the pitches down and then we can start to add rhythms in because the melodies start to come to life. So that's really fun. In the next lesson, in lesson 10, we're going to start working on where the sharps and flats are. So we're going to work on the chromatic pitches. If the natural notes are still a little bit shaky, especially with these new rhythms, you may want to at least repeat lessons 8 and 9, get more comfortable with the natural notes and the new rhythms, and then go on to lesson 10. And in lesson 10, we're going to have fun with those sharps and flats. So keep having fun playing the guitar. I'll see you next time. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For help with other guitar playing skills, check out more of my method books and the numerous lessons available as part of my online academy here on YouTube. You can find more information about me and my products at kristenbromley.com. Take care.